Hello and welcome to 99.9 presents Late Night Pick a Card Reading. Just because it was late at night at the time of the filming, blessings to whoever you are, wherever you are, anywhere at any point in time around the world. I'm your reader and host, Mr. Nobody. How this is going to work is there are going to be 3 sets of 3 pick a cards totaling 9 cards. So you pick cards 1 through 3 for the first round, and then you pick cards 1 through 3 again for the second and third rounds, giving you a total of a 3-card reading, 9 cards total. And so the paths will crisscross, they might flip-flop, but that's how we're going to do. And if any friends stop by on the live stream, we will stop and chat with them after the reading is through. So I'm going to go ahead and cut, and you can pick a card. I'm going to just cut them here, and then I'll put them out. And you can pick the card after that. All right, so we got them cut, shuffled. Card number 1, card number 2, and card number 3. So take a minute, take a deep breath in. Your main question, your main thought, your main focus, whatever that might be, keep that in mind throughout the reading. Go ahead and pick number 1, 2, or 3. So, for those of you that pick number 1, you've drawn a King of Cups, indicating that this is a emotionally important time for you and your loved ones. It's also a time to watch for people around you being emotionally charged and being able to discern what is gaslighting, what is not, what is emotionally charged communication and conversation versus what is authentic and altruistic communication, because there can be that damper there. There can be the tendency, maybe for yourself or somebody that you know at this time, to be acting out of a place of pure emotion. And that's just fine. But this card is an indication to that which is emotional, to put it into perspective, because that's what the king does. Because emotions are like water, the cups of the water. They're so powerful. And they ebb and flow. They're not completely static. Even when they seem so, there's always that bit of a movement. There's a bit of an erosion, if you will, sometimes into just getting into the swing of things, or, feeling the basics of life for what they are. Emotionally charged situations and people can tend to take away from reality. So it's important at this time to discern what is, purely helpful in the world of emotions, and that which may be particularly taking away from happiness, fulfillment, enjoyment, bliss, and nirvana out of your everyday situation and life. But you are the master. You are the king of the emotion. You are the king or queen of the emotions. You remain steadfast. You remain secure, even though the world around you may not be seeming to be even, linking up or even making a lot of sense, But that's okay. When that occurs, it's just a sign to you as a creator, as an enlightened being, to make sense of it and to create better realities out of the topsy-turviness, the turbulence of the world around you, so to speak. So that's what the King of Cups does. So you're on the right track. For those of you that picked number 1, it should be a harmonious next 2 or 3 weeks for you. Look for situations where people are completely open, completely honest with you as well too, because I feel like your energy, for those of you that picked this card, your energies will be out there in the world and people will be drawn to them in order to open up. So look forward for many of you for that to happen as well. Okay, so for those of you that picked card number 2, you've drawn 4 of Pentacles. Cool, man. That inflation, those gas prices, that taxpayer money being sent to the kid down the street. I know it is tough out there in the financial world. And it's a good reminder, this card, to take care of that with intrinsic value. You see the 4 of Pentacles, he grasps it really tightly. That's because he can feel it, he can touch it. Money is not just a thought. It's not just a number on a computer screen. It's actually wealth in life and that which has intrinsic value. And you see he does it right there at the heart chakra. So for those of you that picked this card, people that are important to you, It's time to hold them close. It's in your thoughts, your prayers, physically, however you want to look at it. It's time to hold those people close. As well, it's a time to say, all right, nobody wants to be a pinch purse, but at the same time, we're all doing our part to play this game of reality, as survival. And the time of Pentacles and the material world of the Pentacles, it almost seems to be on edge, and a lot of people are taking this position that the Four of Pentacles is showing you or exposing right now, that it's okay to be frugal. It's okay to, slow the energies around you down so that, money doesn't either accidentally fly away or unintentionally, subconsciously fly away. So for those of you, definitely finances on the mind. But don't let the worry set in. He's got that other pentacle there on the top of his head. The last one, you can hardly see it there. It's right there sitting on the crown chakra of the dude that's, holding on to it. That one, that pentacle up there might not be as useful because it's representing the material world kind of controlling this person's actions, doing, non-doing. What am I going to be able to afford to do that? And then thinking about that all the time. Definitely not the place you want to be in. The pentacle there and the security of the pentacles at his feet. This is about, counting up the eggs before they hatch, after they hatch, taking stock of that which has intrinsic value in your life. So many of you might find yourself, maybe you're inventorying, maybe you are purging to get a little bit, less clutter and things like this in your life. Expect big cleanouts. Maybe if you are in business, you can be expecting, I think, even more sell-off, things of this nature, and hold fast to only that which has intrinsic value. Things that you spend your money on, perhaps, that don't have or don't promote intrinsic value. Talking about, maybe like fine dining for some people, or for other people, it's that subscription-based service that they just don't need anymore. Put up with, just to save a few ducats to get through this kind of worldly time of, just crazy inflation and money just being charged for a head of lettuce, Here's the message from the Four of Pentacles. A head of lettuce has the same value today as it did 4,000 years ago. It's just the money that's changed. The head of lettuce hasn't changed. Okay, so when it comes to lettuce, when it comes to eating, and when it comes to keeping you and yours protected, loved, and blessed, keep a sharp eye on your money, and don't be afraid to be frugal. And don't worry about it. That's the main thing there with the Four of Pentacles, because it's security. It really is a card of security. All right. And for those of you that picked card number 3, you've chosen the Page or the Princess of Pentacles. So again, looking at this situation, you may be dealing with a younger earth sign in this situation. Could be a Taurus or a Capricorn, that's there. Even Virgo. She's got the wheat there. It's a time for you to connect through grounding activities for those of you that pick this card. So you may find yourself connecting with nature. You may find yourself doing activities with people that are more kind of, they're down to earth. They're really they're meaningful things that are going to occur. And in saying that, it's kind of like not really a detour from your everyday life. This is kind of a steady as she goes, life goes on kind of card, because she's there, she's rooted, she's grounded, she's sensible. And when she is being this way, it is as beautiful as the sunset. Don't worry about at this time what other people are doing or what other people are thinking. You may find yourself over the next few weeks, kind of deciding to opt out of situations, declining invitations, and that's okay too. It's a busy time for everybody, and the Princess of Pentacles is aware of that. It's kind of like trying to stay true, but at the same time, trying to stay out there, but at the same time kind of pulling back a little bit as well. And taking time for yourself too, because you don't want to get whisked away. You don't need, these situations to arise in your life that create more karma, especially for those of you that have chosen this card that have just started in new beginnings. Because I feel like that when the Princess of Pentacles shows up, it's like for someone, it represents somebody that's just kind of either for the first time out on their own, or have started a brand new chapter in their life where they're actually just beginning to settle down in the roots of it all again. And get things back to a level from that which was the last chapter in your life. So it's not a real good time to get whisked away on fanciful things at this time either, for those of you that picked card number 3. So if you want to know more, I'm not going to ask you to go to Patreon or subscribe to my video, because I don't do any of that. I'm just here for the people, to the people, for the people. So if you want to hear more about your reading, if I'm on track and this is resonating for you, pick another number, 1 through 3. We're going to put these cards to the side. This is a choose your own adventure. This is kind of like a pick a card. Like maybe you haven't seen the pick a card like this before. And that's okay. We are all about trying new things here at 99.9, the highest degree of change. All right. So let's cut them up once again. Oh, we had one fallout. A 5 of Wands. Ooh, it's good. We'll just shuffle them up and cut them up one more time. 2 more times for the choose your own adventure readings. The late night pick a card. Yours truly, Mr. Nobody, bringing you mediocre content at best, as we always do. All right. So again, card 1, card 2, card 3. And I know there'll be those of you out there that go path of 111 or 222 and 333, and that's really cool of you. But for those, and some of you might go 123, some of you might go 321. It's up to you, right? It's all about synchronicity and timing and events and messages that can be personal, even though they happen in a very wide and broad sense of the fashion. Okay? So for those of you that pick card number 1, things are going to get better. The mind is about to settle down for you. So when we think about where you're at in life and maybe where you want to be in the next little while, when you get the 6 of Swords here, some of you can expect situations to improve, people actually to calm down, people that in your life that need help might start to admit that they need help, and as well, people around you in your life that are there to help you, they might reach out to you and for something that's mutually beneficial. So this is about the culmination of relationships, even old friendships, of like seeing somebody, an old friend that you haven't seen in quite some time. Because it is a card of mind. It's a card of the mental construct. So for some of you, this is about, making sense of what it is and then using your own conclusions to embetter your situation and as well to empower yourself. The 6 of Swords mentally, I believe, is a card of empowerment. So for those of you picking this number and receiving this number, you could expect travel in the next little while, and you can expect resolution, okay? Whether in relationships, situations, business dealings, or closure for some of you that are in those types of, that stage in your relationship cycle. And it's nice because there is a mutual respect. There is commonality, common ground that can be found with this card and you and the people in your life. So maybe actively seek out common ground in situations that are feeling sticky for you. That could go a long way. All right. Card number 2 receives the Princess of Cups. What a beautiful card. This can represent a younger water sign, Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. This card can sometimes represent either confusion or uncertainty or naivety as well. There may be situations for those of you that picked this card where you don't have all the information yet. You're not quite sure what to make of a situation, what to make of a person, what to make of a relationship. But it's about having fun as well. This card, especially in the Rider-Waite, how it's depicted, and in many decks, many good tarot decks, this card always has this fun feeling to it, right? It's almost as if, if happiness was a place, I don't have to go anywhere because it's already there, kind of thing, right? And it's that mentality. So those types of reflections out of meditation, jovial, happy, humorous, things and people going on in your life. As well, this card represents, for some of you, reaching out for more stability. Not sure how you're going to settle a situation down, settle yourself down maybe, or settle down someone in your life that is kind of, topsy-turvy. It could be somebody important to you that's kind of coming at you at different angles, different moods each and every day, and you're that confusion aspect. You're not quite sure what to make of it, or how to make of it, and that's okay. Don't worry. the princess, the page of cups, matures inevitably into a knight of cups in the progression of these things. And the knight of cups is kind of like represents the offering, whereas this card represents the decision to make an offering, the decision to kind of evaluate and, whether to weather or not to weather, whether to not. If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice for many of you. So, yeah, it could be some heavier decisions for some of you that pick this card coming up. Not so much a choice that you're forced into, but this is like a decision that you want to make for you, a decision that you want to make to help your situation out and stick with it, right? Because the Page of Cups can sometimes be conflicted with loyalties and sticking with the program. All right. Oh, boom, 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 boom. For those of you that picked beautiful card number 3, you've got number 16, Major Arcana, the Tower. It's the first time for Major Arcana in the Pick Your Card readings. It's a pretty important life change. Okay, it represents foundations being torn down and built back up again. We got a bolt of lightning happen there. Some of you perhaps are in maybe a bubble, an information bubble. Maybe you feel caught up in the information war that's going on and raging around us. And hey, I can empathize fully with that. They're trying to reach everybody at this time. They're trying to get everybody to a point of emotional reactivity. They're trying to get every situation into a tower situation. Oh my God, another man-made crisis? You gotta be kidding me. And maybe it's like it catches up to you. Maybe sometimes it's good just to click off that TV, click off that radio, click off that social media, click off that this channel. You could click me off right now if I'm not making any sense. But that's what it represents. Perhaps you're in an information bubble. You could be in an echo chamber. You could be in a situation where you're going with the flow, but you're not quite sure that you feel right. Hopefully you're all safe out there. I want you to feel safe. Be wary of groupthink at this time. Be wary of swindlers, conmen, not Randy Man, maybe a Randy Man for some of you. But these types of things could come knocking at your door, calling on your phone, or sending you an email as well. Always be safe out there. Be careful of spam. Be careful of scammers. All that kind of stuff. Because, we put ourselves into pockets by our habits and our behaviors and our altruisms, and that's what we do in life. We build our life up, which is symbolic of the tower, and every once in a while, we got to take that. We either got to do a renovation, take it down a notch, scratch the whole thing. Again, this whole like new chapter thing that the last card was running on. For those of you that picked 33, if you're settling down roots, and if this tower represents the old situation, the old home, the old place that you were coming from, let it go. Just let it go. Don't let it have an ounce of your attention if the memory and the feeling wasn't good. Okay, so that's good. For those of you that pick card number 3. All right, so this is the last one. This is the third of the 3, 7, 8, and 9, the prequel to the sequel, as it were, treating you as an equal. Prequel, sequel, what else? Can't think of anything else that rhymes. All right, here we go again. We're going to cut up the deck one more time and hit the 1, 2, 3. Let's see what it's going to be. All right. And for those of you that have watched the channel through years, thank you so much for being there. Better give these to you upside down before you pick. I got a sneak peek, but that's okay. I'm the reader. I'm the nobody here. Again, thank you to all of you that have watched through the years. Whether you're known to me or whether you're unknown to me, I just want to take a minute to say thank you. It's been awesome. It's an awesome ride that we're on. And it's good to see, since I've last been here, a whole new group of readers has come along. And some of them are insanely good. Some of them are insanely bad. But for me, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So it's good to see all you new faces out there, whether you're in the game or whether you've been watching for a long time, or whether you're just here because you couldn't find anything else to watch. All right. Card number 1. All right. Card number 1. I'm sorry for the lighting there. We've got the 6 of Wands up here. So this is a good card. This is about coming out on top. This is about allowing the allowing the chaos to go on, and like is a card about rising above. Okay, so for some of you, you may be getting out of bad situations. You may be coming out of even workplaces or institutions that have long held some sort of part of your life. It could be a college, a hospital, a university, any type of institution, a prison, even for the, on that rare occasion for somebody or something in your environment. It is an opportunity. It's an opportunistic card. So when opportunity knocks, you gotta grab it. You gotta catch that bus, discerningly. So it's like feeling like you're on top of the world, and you should deserve to feel that way in the majority of your life. Sometimes it's that process of getting through to where you can feel like that consistently that brings people, to a Six of Wands point. Why you find yourself the way you are today, like taking a look around your room, you take a look around your situation, and you just sit with it. And if it feels good, you say, all right, well, I take that as a compliment or as a green light to go forward again, to be happy and have no regrets, nothing in my life, none of this chaos that's either happened in the past or that's happening now is bringing me down. Because when you look around, you feel okay. If you look around and you don't feel okay, and you've got the Six of Wands, this is a situation about knowing what you need to do to break through, to break it off, to break even, to recoup your losses, and to kind of not hit the road jack, but that's a hard terminology, but to kind of shut certain doors that are not leading. They're nothing but bluster. They're like it's like a draft coming in, and you don't have to deal with it. And all you really have to do is get up and shut it off, shut it down, until you're in a position where you can feel good about it in your situation. And I know it's way easier said than done, but for many, the Six of Wands is like a time to look inward. For those who have recently looked inward and saying, what do I do now? Or for those of you that have long needed to look inward and don't know how to do it, this is about finding your answer. This is about making your way, making your escape, rising above, out of the muck and the mire, kind of pulling yourself out of the mud type card as well with the Six of Wands. It has to do with the workplace. It has to do with spiritually as well. For some of you, the overtones of this card, right? And it's about breaking out. It's about breaking through. And it's about victory. At the end of the day, this card is about victory. So for many of you, you will feel like you have reached a milestone in the next little while, like you have come through, that maybe the hard work is done, and now the rest and the appreciation, the nirvana, the bliss can be more consistent, rather than constant interruptions or constant situations that are trying to, they pull down your energy, but you do them out of necessity. And it's kind of like one of those things where work hard, play hard. This is Six of Wands. The Three Wands are always balanced on either side. It's like spirit make manifest on this side, hard work manifest destiny on that side. It's like, how do we find that? Where do we find that balance? It begins with you. It starts with you. So on your inward journey, remember that what you're experiencing in the outward journey is simply that reflection. Then the work and the rising above can be done easily. You just have to sit with what's around you now and gauge through your emotional intelligence how you actually feel about it. Okay? So enough said. For those of you that picked card number 1, thanks for being here the whole time, and I hope you enjoyed your 3 card pick a 3 reading. Okay. For those of you that picked the number 2, all I can say is don't worry, it's going to get better. Okay, it does. The Ten of Swords represents a horse that's been beaten to glue. It's could be signs of bad health for some of you, that it's like you're on the road, you can't take anymore. And now it's kind of like succumbing to it. For some of you, it's accepting. Succumbing is the wrong word. It's about an acceptance of a defeat. Maybe some of you have faced a narcissist or a sociopath. You've been dealing with one for a long time, and you finally realized, I cannot fight against this anymore. The only way to, come out of relationships with a narcissistic sociopath on the right side is to turn and walk away. In some cases, run away. This is a card of run away, run away. But things are going to get better. It's kind of like it's always darkest before the dawn. That's what this card's about. The sun's about to come up, and it's on you now to like be the phoenix rising in your own life for the people that you love. Maybe you have to dig down, really dig down and find some extra energy, to get through whatever health issues you might be facing, or to get through even just fatigue and exasperation, exhaustion. This doesn't always represent like bad health, but it's a point of exasperation. Like we're mad as hell and we're not going to take it anymore. That kind of thing. And so you do something about it. Like, we get it. It's exposed. It needs to be fixed. Everybody knows that the toilet leaks. You're going to go and fix the toilet finally, right? Or whatever it might be. Using these analogies because for so many of you, this moment presents so differently. And it's good because it represents a mental clearing. Getting away of all the mental clutter. Anything that's left, residual anger, anger is one of them. But residual energy of like anger, regret, anguish, unworthiness, like poor self-esteem, things like that. If any of you are suffering in those regards on a mental level, the new dawn is almost here. And it's just upon you to say, okay, I recognize that which is hurting me, and all of that which is hurting me, whether it's coming from within or whether it's coming from without. You just make a solemn declaration that no matter how much it hurts sometimes, you're not going to let it truly bring you down. You're not going to let it truly hurt or engage with spirit or mind in any kind of way. The power of positive thinking is so cliche, and it's what's been promoted through the ages, all the way back to the Gnostics, about creating reality, and body and reality actually follow the mind. So getting that mental clarity cleaned up, dust out the cobwebs. If you've been too comfortable in your life, your living room for too long due to coof or whatever thing is going on, it's like, clear out those cobwebs. Make room to change the chi in your own life, the energy in you. For some of you, it's as simple as redecorating, moving the furniture around. For others of you, it's about going out and reaching out, or talking with people, opening up lines of communication so that the mind can truly flow again. It's like when you bottle stuff up, they say when you bottle stuff up, it's like one day it explodes. Well, where does it explode from? Let's pretend it's a bottle. You bottled it up, right? That's where the saying comes from. Where does it pop first? The top always pops first. Poop, poop, poop. Not the poop in Italy, but poop, pop. There goes the top off. It comes from mind. So relieving pressure is all about mental exercise and mental clarity and focus. And for some of you, that focus is right around the corner if you're not feeling it already. And for some of you, it's just a point to acknowledge, hey, what thoughts am I having are complete fantasy that I can't back up in truth. For every truth that you're telling yourself, ask yourself, can the opposite of that also be true? And what proof do you have of the truth that you're telling yourself, right? Because the mind, it can work with us and do amazing things. But if we're too comfortable in it, it can really start to be a bad guy in our story, have adverse effects. It can bring us down. It can manifest as like a physical heaviness on the persona, on the consciousness, on the spirit, because mind has not been given the opportunity to recharge, refresh, like the battery on your iPhone, or like taking out the recycle bin and having open free space again, right? Many analogies we could use for this mental clearing, but for some of you it's important to get there, and for some of you it's just confirm the faith that the work that you do to declutter your life, your mind, your situation, it will pay off in the end, even though it's a little painful at present time. And my heart goes out to you, those of you that pick number 2. What practical information do I have for this 10 of Swords? For some of you, it represents the ending of a relationship, the ending of a job, the ending of, you're going to quit, you're going to walk away, you're going to say, what's that? Enough. Okay. It's just enough. Right? Oh my God. The saying enough is enough is just enough already. All right. Wow. And for those of you that pick number 3, 9 of Swords speaks to the gravity of your situation, always with the 9 of Swords. Why is she upside down? Let's give her. We're not doing reversals today. She's upside down. There. Okay. For those of you that are feeling alone, that are feeling loneliness, for those of you that are feeling regret at this time, it's very important. It's almost like for those of you that pick number 3, your situations will be manifesting a little bit more slowly. It's hard for you right now to create the things that you want and have them in your life due to things that are blocked, some of which you control and some of which you don't control. But this is a state of mind, a New York state of mind, no, just a state of mind, a state of being. How much are you run by the mind? It's okay as well for some of you in a situation, someone you know or yourself could be saying to the group or to another person, I've changed my mind. This doesn't work for me anymore. And hopefully you're not too contractually obligated by it. For those of you that are dealing with legal matters, the swords in this card represent, knowing when to go forward, knowing the limits of what you have. Because time, for anybody in your situation, any particular untruth or falsehoods, people that have been misled and people that have been betrayed in situations, those cuts run very deep. But the time of the situation can heal the wound, but the wounds cannot be healed until you've effectively taken the cause of the pain and put it away. Whatever's coming down on you, whatever is causing you to feel regret and anguish, as long as that still looms or as long as that's still active, you need to shut the door on that, okay, and lament. See, the lady in the card is lamenting over a situation that may be in the past or the future. That's not even real yet. It's about coming down to reality. Take the time to lament. Close the door on the pain or the suffering if it's still going on. And if the pain and the suffering has kind of ended and you're just left in that empty space, that empty feeling afterwards, recognize that in itself as a natural progression, but then recognize what power you have over your own mind to control the lamenting, over the situation. It could have been something very important to you, someone very important to you, that might just not be the way it was before. Somebody opted out of the situation, or you yourself has said, this is not working for me anymore. I've got to cut ties, as painful as it is, or whatever it may be. And again, because these are collective general readings, this is a time where people are worried. They're worried sick about their kids, about their future, about their security, all of this stuff. And for those causes insomnia, you can see the lady's in bed, but she's not asleep yet. Well, why is that? Everybody should be sleeping. For some of you, this card represents the truth is going to come out. Whether it makes you happy or whether it's going to hurt you in the end, the truth is going to come out. But remember that all suffering is self-inflicted. So you have a choice. As long as you close down any external suffering that has been inflicted upon you, and that's never cool, but it happens to people, and our hearts go out, again, for those of you that picked this card or tuned in this late. So this will be probably for a very select few people, because these readings stay personal. Even though in a general collective you can feel them in your heart because you had that question that I told you to keep in your mind. So if you need to, you can rewatch and if you got off track, because I sure do get off track. But anyways, that's it. And for those of you that managed to stay right until the very end of the whole shebang, let's just take one look. Let's just take one look at a power oracle. We'll do a simple reading. And that'll be that for this June 2nd, 2022. All right. Okay, folks. This is what it is. We'll get our affirmations going. We'll get our healing going. So I hope that you don't mind if I read to you this card of affirmations. We know how to use. Oh, here we go. These are from the Sacred Power Oracle cards by Anna Stark. I don't know if that's Tony Stark. Any relation to Tony Stark. Human beings are conscious creators. You have the potential to shift a negative mindset to a positive one. Adjusting our thoughts and subtle brain waves through positive mantras, we're able to retrain our brains after trauma. Say that 10 times fast. Kick bad habits and set positive goals and intentions. We can change our perceptions by creating positive word sequences to alter our belief systems. You do have that power. We all have that power. That's a power they can't take away. We can change our perceptions by creating positive word sequences to our... I just read that part, I got lost. The power of I am presence has the potential to shift, awaken, and align our soul's blueprint to our physical being. The I am presence is the higher aspect of ourself that connects us directly to Source. Invoking the I am presence connects us with Source, the universe, higher self, or other realms of consciousness. Using the I am presence gives your affirmation power. I am strengthens your psyche on a conscious and subconscious level, creating power and intent with every statement. Previously, you may have tried using affirmations but lost motivation due to a lack of results. The key to success is to consciously remove words with negative connotations. True affirmations are spoken with belief in your heart's core, with no doubt placed upon the words. Right now, your higher self is asking you to be serious about your intentions, to create a positive and open mindset. Perseverance, will, and patience is required. Like the caterpillar transforms, takes time if you want long-lasting results. Acknowledge any thoughts and feelings and possible resistance to positive statements. If you are in a state of conflict, ask yourself questions about why you feel this way and what you can do to cooperate to achieve the best possible outcome. Creating conversations with the self in this way supports deep change and resolution to past patterns or behavior. Invoke the I am presence with all your affirmations to solidify the anchor and change the transformation you desire. Using affirmations daily can improve your overall well-being. This is true, y'all. And with that, it's time for me to sign off. Sayonara, sign wave, sign language, sign the declaration of it. Sign whatever you want to sign. Everywhere signs. They're blocking out the scenery and breaking my mind. Do this, don't do that.